Mom accidentally added me to a group chat called Happy Family. In it I saw Mom, Dad, and some stranger nicknamed Sweetheart. They were planning a birthday party for him. The problem, tomorrow's my birthday. Which they've forgotten for the 10th year in a row. Mom texted, the venue has to be dreamy. I want him to feel like a real prince. Dad sent Sweetheart a huge cash transfer. Money is no problem. Just don't let Christopher find out. It'll ruin everything. I quietly screenshot everything, ready to expose them and cut ties for good. Then my little sister Susie, the straightest student, sent me a screenshot from her private chat with Mom. Mom, did you finish setting up Christopher's surprise party? You promised this is the last time you'd lie to him. I stared at Susie's screenshots. My heart dropped. A surprise. The last time they'd lie to me. That explained everything. Every birthday my parents blew me off with excuses. Chris, something came up at work. Mom would say, got a business meeting. Just order takeout, Dad would say. This year they didn't even bother with excuses. They just replaced me. I threw my phone down. My chest felt tight. Another text from Susie popped up. Christopher, don't overthink it. Mom and Dad I sent back 2 words. Got it. Don't overthink it. How could I not? The facts were right there. That birthday party for their sweetheart was my so-called surprise. Their actual son, just background noise for some other kid's happiness. I heard Mom's hushed voice from the living room. Right. Go with blue balloons. The biggest ones. Ben loves blue. So it has to be perfect Ben. I listened closer and figured out his full name. Benjamin Smith. I pulled up Instagram and searched for him. His profile popped up right away. Fancy travel photos everywhere. His latest story, a photo with my parents in my living room. Mom and Dad were beaming. Mom had her arm around Benjamin's shoulder. Dad stood next to him with this look I'd never seen before. Pure affection. The caption said, "Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Blake. Can't wait for tomorrow's party." Mom commented underneath, "Silly boy. No need to be so formal with us." Dad liked the post. Perfect little family. I saved the photo with the group chat. Screenshots in my encrypted album. These would be my surprises for them tomorrow at dinner. Mom made soup and served me with way too much enthusiasm. Chris, try this. I made it especially for you. I looked at the greasy chicken soup. My throat tightened. Is this to celebrate Benjamin's birthday? I asked casually. Mom's smile froze. She glanced at Dad. His expression went dark. What are you talking about, Benjamin? Really, Dad? Short memory much. I pulled out my phone and showed him the photo. Isn't this your so-called sweetheart? Dad's face went white. Mom jumped in. Chris, you've got it wrong. He's my client's son. We're just helping with his party. A client's son. I laughed. Important enough for his own group chat to be called sweetheart. To get huge money transfers. Important enough to make you forget your own son's birthday. The living room went silent except for heavy breathing. Susie ran out of her room and grabbed my arm. Christopher, calm down. I shook her off. What, you gonna help them lie to me, too? Susie's face went pale. Her mouth moved. But nothing came out. The next day, my birthday, the house was empty. $100 and a note sat on the table. Mom's handwriting, Chris. Money is on the table. Get yourself something good to eat. 10 years of this treatment. Even the money amount never changed. I crumpled the bill and threw it in the trash. After last night's blow up, they stopped pretending. I heard Mom on the phone in her room, voice buzzing with excitement. The venue is all set up. Looks like a fairy tale. Dad was on the balcony giving orders. Bring the 82 Lafite. Ben needs to have the time of his life today. Meanwhile, I drifted through the house like a ghost. Susie left early. Before she did, she gave me this complicated look. Christopher, no matter what you see, trust me. Trust her. Trust. She was in on this, too. I laughed coldly and said nothing. Around noon, a delivery truck pulled up. 2 guys unloaded this massive gift box with a ridiculous blue bow. I stood at the window watching. Turns out I didn't even deserve a gift. Mom rushed downstairs, grinning ear to ear as she signed for it. He directed the workers super carefully, terrified they damage it. I recognized the logo. A limited edition piano from last month. 6 figures, easy. Meanwhile, my 10-year-old piano had yellowed keys and was totally out of tune. I'd mentioned it to Mom before. Her response, if it works, keep using it. Money is tight. Money wasn't the problem. I just wasn't worth it. That killed the last bit of hope I had. That afternoon, I put on a black suit. I fixed my hair and made myself look decent, hiding the exhaustion. Couldn't let them see me broken. I'd walk away with my head up. I'd overheard the party address during Mom's call last night. The fanciest banquet hall in the city. I grabbed a cab. The driver kept going on about it. What's the big deal today? Traffic's crazy. Up ahead. Heard some rich families throwing their son a birthday party. Super extravagant. I forced a small smile. Yeah, extravagant. Built on 10 years of my pain. A red carpet stretched across the hall, entrance lined with blue roses. The welcome sign read in fancy letters. Happy birthday to my sweetheart. Signed, Love, Mom and Dad. I stared at those words. They burned. I texted, Susie, I'm here to see your so-called surprise. I took a deep breath and walked in. Inside, glasses clinked and people laughed. My parents stood in the crowd. All smiles, entertaining guests. Next to them stood a boy in a blue suit. Benjamin, looking like a peacock, soaking up all the attention. Mom placed a diamond crown on his head. Ben, today you're our most precious little prince. Dad handed him a velvet box with a diamond necklace. Like it had it custom made for you. Benjamin smiled sweetly. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Blake. You're so good to me. The guests were impressed. Oliver can't believe how you treat your godson. Better than your own kid. Seriously? That's some generosity. If this is how you treat a godson, what would you do for your real son's birthday? Give him the moon. My parents laughed and waved it off. It's nothing. Nobody noticed me in the corner. I held up my phone and recorded everything. Then I straightened my suit, grabbed some champagne and walked toward them. The noise faded. All I saw was that perfect family of 3. Mom raised her glass. Thank you all for celebrating our sweetheart's birthday today. Your sweetheart, I cut in. I repeated Mom's words ice cold. Their smiles vanished. Mom recovered first. She stepped forward to grab my hand. I dodged. Chris. Why are you here? Her voice shook. Come, let me introduce you. This is... I cut her off, staring straight at Benjamin. This is Benjamin Smith, your sweetheart, right? Benjamin's smile disappeared. He looked lost. A flash of sympathy crossed his face. Before he looked to my parents for help. Who's this? Someone asked. Dad's face went dark. He lowered his voice. Christopher Blake, stop making a scene and go home. Making a scene? I laughed coldly. Dad, forget what day it is. Today is also your real son's birthday. Mine. Every word crystal clear. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Everyone's eyes bounced between my parents and me. Hungry for gossip. So he's the actual son then? Unbelievable. Ignoring their own kid's birthday for some outsider. What's Mr. Blake thinking? The whispers hit my parents hard. Their faces darkened. Mom's lips trembled. Dad went from panicked to furious enough he slammed the table. Did you really have to ruin today? Ruin it? I raised my phone and hit play on a video. Mom, who's ruining what? Who's supposedly planning my surprise? While putting a crown on someone else. Screen showed Mom gently placing the crown on Benjamin's head. Ben, today you are our most precious little prince. Her words echoed through the silent hall. Mom went white. I switched to the group photo and this. How'd your client's son become your sweetheart? I turned the screen to the crowd. Everyone could see the photo and comments. Their faces showed shock, judgment, disbelief. Dad shook with rage. He pointed at me, speechless. Christopher Blake, you what? I met his eyes. Mine were watering. But my voice stayed cold. I just want to know. Does having a new son feel that much better? What did I do to deserve getting dumped like trash? My voice got louder, carrying 10 years of hurt. Benjamin went pale. He tugged Mom's sleeve. Mrs. Blake. This Mom yanked away from him. She looked at me, eyes full of regret. Chris, it's not what you think. It's really not. Then what is it? I demanded. Go ahead, explain. Right then the doors flew open. Susie rushed in, seeing the standoff. Her face went white. She ran to me and grabbed my arm tight. Her voice shook. Christopher. Let me explain enough. I don't want more explanations. I shouted. I tried to break free. I'd accomplished what I came for. Let everyone see my parents' true faces. Watch their perfect image crumble. I raised my phone high, ready to project the group chat screenshots on the big screen. Mom, Dad. Show's over. Just as I was about to hit projection, Susie snatched my phone and clutched it to her chest. Christopher, please. Just 5 more minutes. Her eyes were red, voice desperate. 5 minutes, Susie begged, her voice cracking. Christopher, please. Just 5 minutes. I looked at my little sister. Her hair was messy, her dress wrinkled, as if she had run all the way here. Her eyes were wide with a fear I didn't understand. Why was she so terrified? Was she afraid I would destroy the family reputation? Was she protecting them? 5 minutes for what? I snarled, trying to wrestle the phone back. So they can come up with another lie? So they can tell everyone I'm crazy? No! Susie screamed. So Benjamin can explain. I froze. Benjamin? The pampered prince? The sweetheart? What did he have to explain? I looked at him. He was standing slightly behind my mother, his face pale as a sheet. He wasn't looking at me with arrogance or pity. He was looking at me with guilt. Deep, crushing guilt. My father stepped forward, his face a mask of fury and desperation. Christopher, stop this madness. You don't know what you're doing. I know exactly what I'm doing, I spat. I'm cutting you out. I'm done being the ghost in my own house. The crowd murmured. Phones were out, recording. The Blake family drama was live-streaming to the world. Let him speak, a voice cut through the noise. It was Benjamin. He stepped away from my mother's protective grasp. He walked toward me, his hands trembling slightly. He looked at the crowd, then at my parents, and finally at me. Hi, he whispered. I'm Ben. I know who you are, I said coldly. You're the son they actually wanted. Ben flinched. No. I'm not. He took a deep breath. I'm dying, Christopher. The silence in the hall was deafening. Even the clinking of glasses stopped. What? I asked, my voice barely audible. Leukemia, Ben said. Acute myeloid leukemia. It came back 3 months ago. The doctors say I have maybe a few weeks. I stared at him. He looked healthy. A bit pale, maybe, but healthy. He's lying, I said, turning to my parents. This is another trick. It's not a trick. Susie cried, pulling a file from her bag. She shoved it into my hands. Look at it. The medical reports. The scans. I opened the file. My hands shook as I scanned the pages. Benjamin Smith. Date of birth, same as mine. Diagnosis, terminal. Why? I looked up, confused. Why are you doing this? Why the party? Why the secrets? My mother stepped forward, tears streaming down her face. She looked older than she ever had. Because he's your brother, she whispered. Chapter 2, The Secret History. The world spun. My knees buckled, and I grabbed the edge of a table to steady myself. Brother? I choked out. I don't have a brother. I have Susie. You had a twin, my father said, his voice heavy with a pain I had never heard before. When you were born, there were complications. We were young. We were broke. We couldn't afford 2 babies, especially not with Ben's condition. He needed surgeries from day 1. So you gave him away? I asked, horror dawning on me. We gave him to the Smiths, Mom sobbed. They were wealthy. They could pay for the treatments. They promised to save him. But the condition was, we had to disappear. We couldn't see him. We couldn't know him. Until 3 months ago, Ben said softly. When my parents died in a car crash. I had no one. And the cancer came back. I found the adoption papers. I found you. He looked at me with those sad, knowing eyes. I didn't want to ruin your life, Chris. I just wanted to meet my real parents before I die. I wanted one birthday with my blood family. I looked at the sweetheart group chat on the screen. The money transfers. The blue balloons. So you replaced me, I said to my parents. You got your lost son back, and you just forgot the one you kept. We didn't forget. Dad shouted, losing his composure. We were trying to protect you. Ben didn't want you to know he was dying. He didn't want you to mourn a brother you never knew. So instead you let me think you hated me? I screamed. You let me think I was worthless? For 10 years you ignored my birthday. Why? Was it guilt? Did looking at me remind you of the son you gave away? Mom covered her mouth, sobbing uncontrollably. Yes. God, yes. Every time I saw you blow out candles, I wondered if Ben was alive. I couldn't bear it. So you punished me, I said, my voice trembling. For surviving. Ben stepped closer. Chris, please. It's my fault. I asked them to keep it a secret. I wanted to be selfish for once. I wanted a mom and dad. I didn't know they treated you like this. He turned to my parents, anger flashing in his eyes. You told me Chris was busy. You told me he was studying abroad. You didn't tell me you were ignoring him. We were overwhelmed, Dad muttered, looking at the floor. The medical bills, the treatments, we were trying to make up for lost time with you, Ben. By destroying your other son? Ben asked. He took off the diamond crown. He took off the necklace. He placed them on the table. I don't want this, Ben said. I don't want any of it. He looked at me. Happy birthday, Chris. I'm sorry I stole it. Then he turned and walked out of the hall. Chapter 3, The Aftermath. The party ended in chaos. Guests left whispering. My parents stood amidst the ruins of their perfect celebration, looking like ghosts. I walked out. I didn't go home. I went to a park bench and sat there for hours, staring at the night sky. Susie found me at midnight. She sat down next to me, handing me a cold soda. He's at the hospital, she said quietly. He collapsed in the taxi. Good, I said, though I didn't mean it. Chris, don't be like that. Like what? Honest? I laughed bitterly. They lied to me my whole life, Susie. They gave away a kid because they were poor, and then punished the one they kept because of guilt. They're monsters. They're human, Susie said. Flawed, stupid humans. But Ben is innocent. She pulled out her phone. He sent you a video. I pushed it away. I don't want to see it. Just watch it, she insisted. She pressed play. It was Ben, sitting in a hospital bed, looking pale and hooked up to tubes. Hey, Chris, video Ben said. If you're watching this, I probably messed everything up. I just wanted to say. I've watched you from afar. I found your Instagram years ago. I saw you play piano. You're amazing. I tried to learn, but my hands shake too much. He held up his trembling hands. The piano Mom bought? The limited edition one? It wasn't for me. I told her to buy it for you. I told her it was a thank you gift for letting me crash your life. I guess she didn't tell you that either. I froze. The piano. I don't have much time, brother. I have a lot of money from the Smiths. I'm leaving it all to you. Please, don't hate Mom and Dad too much. They're broken. Just like us. The video ended. I sat there, the cold soda condensation dripping onto my hand. He bought me the piano? I whispered. He begged them to, Susie said. He wanted to surprise you tonight. He wanted to play a duet with you. I put my head in my hands and wept. Chapter 4, The Duet. I went to the hospital the next morning. My parents were in the waiting room. They looked like they hadn't slept in days. When they saw me, they stood up, hope and fear warring in their eyes. I walked past them without a word. I entered Ben's room. He was awake, staring out the window. Hey, I said. He turned. His face lit up with a weak smile. You came. You owe me a duet, I said, my voice thick. Ben laughed, a dry, rasping sound. I don't think they have a Steinway in here. I pulled up a chair. So, we're twins. Fraternal, Ben noted. You got the good genes. And you got the money, I countered. We talked. 4 hours. We talked about movies, about girls, about the weird quirks of our parents. It was strange, how easy it was. Like finding a part of myself I didn't know was missing. My parents hovered by the door, afraid to enter. Eventually, I waved them in. We need to talk, I told them. About everything. It wasn't a forgiveness session. It was a reckoning. I told them how much they hurt me. I told them that money and protection were poor excuses for neglect. They cried. They apologized. They promised to do better. I didn't forgive them. Not yet. But I let them stay. Chapter 5, The End and the Beginning. Ben lived for 3 more weeks. We spent every day together. I played keyboard for him in the hospital room. We watched bad movies. We made fun of Dad's tie collection. On the last day, he was barely conscious. Chris, he whispered, grabbing my hand. The piano, play it. I will, I promised. Live, he said. Live for both of us. He died an hour later, holding my hand. The funeral was small. No blue balloons. No, sweetheart, signs. Just family. After the service, I went home. The limited edition piano sat in the living room, majestic and silent. I sat down on the bench. My parents stood in the doorway, watching me. I placed my fingers on the keys. I played Happy Birthday. Not the cheerful version. A slow, melancholic, jazz variation. I played for the 10 years of silence. I played for the brother I never knew. I played for the brother I lost. When I finished, I turned to my parents. I'm moving out, I said. Mom started to protest, but Dad put a hand on her shoulder. Okay, he said softly. Okay. I'm taking the piano, I added. It's yours, Mom whispered. I used Ben's inheritance to go to music school in Europe. I needed distance. I needed to find out who Christopher Blake was when he wasn't being defined by his parents' guilt or his brother's shadow. Every year, on our birthday, I buy a small cupcake. I put 2 candles on it. I blow one out for me. And I let the other one burn down, watching the wax melt, remembering the blue balloons and the brother who just wanted to come home. I didn't forgive my parents for a long time. But eventually, I answered their calls. I visited for holidays. We built something new. It wasn't the happy family from the group chat. It was scarred and messy and real. And that was enough.